welcome to a Woke Wellness Wednesday. I'm very, very excited to bring someone with so many accolades. But before I go ahead and do that, I will bring my co-host, Alec.
Oh, hi. What's going on? I am excited for today's episode. I'm so excited to hear what this guy has to say. I'm so excited to hear where the conversation takes us. It's going to be a good episode.
Yes. Okay, everybody, if you can start sharing the stream now, because we have Isaiah Galarza.
Yeah. There he is. Ow.
Hey, bienvenidos. Mucho gusto.
How you guys doing? You guys having a good time already?
Fantastic, man. Fantastic.
How many beers and joints ahead of me are you guys?
I just started my first, so I'm right there with you.
Gotcha.
As long as it's in this beautiful mug, I'll never tell the quantity. All right, you guys. Oh, we got Detroit in the house. If you guys are streaming from different parts of the United Estados Unidos or all across the world, drop a line. Want to see where everybody is at. Okay, so Isaiah Galarza, you have won many awards. Let's get right into the juice. What inspired you to become a director?
The movie Stargate. I in that theater and I completely fell in love with the music, and I was looking at the theater, and that was the year that like Jurassic Park came out and Tombstone came out, and I was just like, I don't know what this is, but I want to be a part of that. And I started exploring how to make films, and the Art Center College of Design in Pasadena, California has a Saturday High program where high school students can go and take classes in one of the majors, and I chose film. Mm-hmm. And that got me into the night class at Art Center, which got me a scholarship to the bachelor's program, which got me a scholarship to the master's program. So that's where it all started.
I didn't know you were that smart.
I like to pretend. Definitely.
You're so cool on the exterior, and now I'm learning he's like, and Rolodex.
Wait, before we go any further, can we hear the story of how you guys got connected?
Oh yeah, the speakeasy, the hidden speakeasy in Koreatown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it was a film thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, Urban Variety's networking event.
I should point my there you go. You're right there in my screen.
I'm over here.
It's down here.
No one.
Let's put someone in there.
If there's somebody eager enough to ask any questions verbatim to your face, we can pop them up in here, but that would require effort.
But yeah, we met. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Tell us how we met.
We met at a speakeasy in Koreatown on Wilshire in downtown LA, and it was one of those special exclusive bars. You had to go in through like the loading dock around back. And there was just this big guy in a suit just standing over like a single light bulb, and you had to go to him and be like, "Hey, password." And then he would frisk you and he'd let you in. And then you'd walk down. It was almost like the beginning of Goodfellas. You would walk through like this kitchen area and down a hallway. And then you came to this blank wall where this very beautiful girl in a black suit was standing. And you tell her, "Hi, password." And then she would open what would look like just a wall. The wall would open and would reveal this very cool, swanky John Wick kind of bar. I don't even remember the name of the bar.
Break Room 86.
86? Break Room 86, yeah.
I want to say.
Very swanky, very cool. I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think out of the networking event, those things can get really odd because you really don't know who to approach for whatever reason, but you were just so approachable and like, hey, let's eventually work, which we will show everybody. You guys want to stay tuned. You definitely want to add more people to the stream because we're going to show you one of the films that I'm in with Isaiah as the director.
And so when it came time to direct a music video, I was just like, hey, I need somebody, beautiful and crazy. And who else? Who better?
Hey, green hero, it's me.
Then Talia there.
Should we show everybody, just because they are new to you, or should we show them a bit of your Vimeo and one of your projects called?
What do you want to start with?
So why don't you give us a little bit about, let's get straight to the meat and potatoes, Project Gemini.
So Project Gemini is a feature film that I wrote with based on a pitch that my buddy Roger Artola had come up with, and he was the cinematographer, the brilliant cinematographer for the pitch, and he actually wound up shooting the proof of concept. We basically went out and shot the first 20 pages of my feature screenplay, and then quarantine hit, and nothing really went anywhere with it. So what I decided to do was to repackage it into a short, turned it into something black and white, and when that happened, we started winning awards like crazy. We won the International Cannes Short Film Festival, not the Cannes Film Festival, the Short Film Festival. We got Best Ensemble in Berlin. I won Best Director in London. But we won 39 awards around the globe. We won Sweden. We won the Norwegian Action Film Festival. And so we just went out and shot the first 20 pages, and that was the film that we have. And this is the trailer that I put together for the movie.
All right, taking the Kobe.
No, not that one. Not that was
No.
Oh wait, that's it. Gemini 2. Okay, cool. Got it.
Yeah.
Right,
okay.
go for it.
These awards. Let's get some round of applause in the audience here. Okay.
There's more than that. That's just all the ones that I put on there.
And then what we're gonna do is what we call mute the fuck up, so everybody can hear it. So we're just gonna mute. Alrighty, what did everybody think? And how was the idea of watching your trailer that won so many?
I have not seen that before. That was fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you. The interesting thing about shooting that movie is that we actually had the guy who was designing the fight scenes. He was not trained as a stuntman. He was trained as a martial combat expert, not martial arts like karate, jiu-jitsu. Those are martial arts. Martial combat is something completely different. Martial combat, the premise is not to win awards or get points. The entire point of a martial combat is to kill your opponent as soon as possible so you can move on to the next one. And so he had to revert the training to stuntmen and explain to them how to do that, and especially the actress. And in one of the scenes, you see the actress swinging at the guy with a baton, and she was protecting herself like this as she swung. Every real fighter in the world knows that when you attack, you also have to protect yourself in case they double back on you. Stunt guys don't know this at all because they're not trained to do that. This guy was trained to do that, and so he instructed the stunt guys to do exactly that.
That is so interesting. You see, because like when you watch like professionals do it, you think that it's like, oh, these guys know exactly what they're doing, but it's like there's like a whole different aspect of training that you don't really get unless you look in a certain area of fighting.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so interesting.
So that's something I'm definitely carrying on when we do the feature, which should be, we're trying to get that off the ground. But the other thing was that we had several fight scenes, but we also had a car chase scene through Malibu Canyon. And we actually doubled Las Vegas Canyon because Malibu Canyon is just swarming with sheriffs. Like you can't fart down there without getting a ticket.
Right.
So we got establishing shots of Malibu Canyon, and we shot everything else in Las Tunas Canyon above Burbank.
Okay. So quickly, what I asked you this, didn't I?
Yeah, it was. But my favorite movie, like of all time, is the movie Lawrence of Arabia.
Okay.
Has anybody seen that one?
See, that's one of the few movies.
Yeah.
That's one of the movies I want to see, but I haven't really gotten to it yet. There's a bunch of them I still got to get to.
Yeah. The cool thing about that movie is that it was made 60 years ago, but it's incredibly relevant today because it offers you such an offbeat depiction of masculinity. The guy who played T.E. Lawrence, Peter O'Toole, he played him very effeminate and very delicately because in real life, the real guy who lived during World War I was very effeminate. In fact, people think he was gay, but his brother at the time said, no, he's just impotent, which, whatever. But this guy, the most effeminate guy in the whole British Army, did something more masculine than all of the alpha males in Arabia did. He united the tribes together to fight against the Turks. Not even an Arab could do that. This guy went out and just did it all on his own. And it's all a true story.
That's crazy. So, and I really appreciate that about like older movies is the fact that like you can like tell they really thought about those like small like historical details to like add to their characters. And yeah, I don't know, man. I like I'm just like my roommate's starting to get me like caught up with like some of like the more awarded classic, I guess you could say, movies and TV shows. Like he just got me into Mad Max. I'm starting to get into some of Mel Gibson stuff, and it's like it's got it. I gotta make sure I watch. I guarantee you he's seen it. I guarantee he could like give me like a whole rundown.
Have you watched Braveheart yet?
What's that?
Have you watched Braveheart yet?
I have to watch Braveheart.
I've seen Braveheart, yeah. Oh yeah, I've seen Braveheart.
Cinephiles. What's your favorite movie? Obviously, we have Lawrence of Arabia and Stargate. I love Stargate.
Stargate. That was a great movie. I fell in love with the music of that movie. That's what got me before anything else.
Yeah.
So let's bumble into the next question. Alec, take it away.
So, how has your vision as a director evolved over the years? Because obviously, you know, like as you get further into a job and as you get further into like actually being a part of your position, you learn that you're like, oh, I learned this from watching this person, this from watching this person, and that kind of changed like what I want to do. So, are there like certain experiences or interactions you've had that have kind of like evolved the way that you view what directing should look like?
Yes, I for the first few years after graduating from film school, I was a first assistant director, and so I was the guy with the clipboard who broke down the script and created the schedule and made sure on the day that everyone was doing their job safely and in a way that we could get on time, on budget, everything done. So seeing filmmaking through that lens, you see a lot of directors just kind of panic on set, like a lot, and you realize they're just kind of panicking over stupid shit. Can I cuss? Is that okay?
Oh yeah, absolutely, please.
Fuck yeah. My dad was a sailor. Okay, so you know I'm yeah.
Oh, so you literally have the mouth of a sailor. Got it.
So you kind of realize real quick that instead of getting like this mode of coverage, just pull out a little bit, and you don't have to, you know, fire hose the camera back and forth. Just get one master shot and then pick up coverage as you deem fit. A lot of directors will just panic over little things. And so as a first AD, you kind of realize like, oh yeah, I don't have to go through all this shit. I can just do this one thing and I'll be done, and we can get through the day a lot quicker. And that frees you up, I found, for more creative stuff. When you attack something not just with a plan, but with a completely economic plan, there's less stress and you have more time at the end of the day, and you get to come up with even more creative stuff because the pressure's gone.
Right.
And that's something that a lot of directors don't enjoy because they're just in a mad rush to get everything they need or everything they think they need, that half the time the director doesn't have 5 minutes on set to breathe.
Yeah.
So as a first AD, scheduling something, knowing the logistics of what's going to happen, but also realizing what you're going to need more time for. Like if I'm going to set up a shot that's going to take half a day, I know already beforehand, this is going to take a while to move the camera, to move the set, to move the lighting, to move this, that, and the other. I'm just going to shoot that tomorrow.
Sure.
I'm not try and, stress out my camera crew, my camera G&E, my cinematographer, the actors.
Yeah. So wait, I have a quick question. Like, how long does that kind of setup take to move entire? It just depends on where you guys are and how much equipment you have.
Right. It really does depend. Sometimes when you don't have all the resources, you have to light one setup and then strike and turn the camera around to shoot the other one. And if you're shooting video, what you see on the monitor is what you get. There's no guessing work, and so you can just it's half the time as with film. With film, you have to go in there with a light meter and you have to measure out every single light, kind of work it out in your brain, and hope for the best for the next day when you get the rushes. So the pressure is really on the cinematographer. That's why they really do like to take their time, because if they screw up, there's a whole day that's gone and a few $1,000s that's wasted.
Sure.
So when you're lighting, when the producer's giving me pressure and I'm putting pressure on everybody else, I have to realize that the ultimate pressure is on the cinematographer, because if they don't get it right, you've wasted everybody's time, you've wasted everybody's money, and now we have an inferior product that we either have to sit with or spend money to go back and redo.
Got it.
Wow.
So just kind of going back to like what you were saying, would you say like one of the things that like kind of helped to evolve the way that you look at what directing should look like is kind of the process of you learning how to like streamline the process of what your job requires you to do, so that it does free you up later to have that creativity instead of having that pressure, but instead like figuring out how to like skip the steps of like putting more pressure on yourself instead of just like getting it done, moving on, and doing all these things.
Correct. Yeah. Seeing it from that perspective allows me to go into the film shoot understanding what's important and what's necessary, and that's really the distinction you're playing with. When you go on a set, what is important? It's how the actor looks. What's not important? Whether the actor got their favorite brownie for lunch.
Sure.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I've dealt with actors who were like that, who will just lose their shit if Crafty isn't right. And
I shouldn't name drop, but my friend who does the grip, he's like the boom operator. He said this specific actor in Step Brothers, not Will Ferrell, but the other one. Yeah, he had a whole
Riley.
Yeah, he had a whole conniption fit on set with the audio guys, even touching him to the point where he had to turn around and apologize to them. So
that's crazy.
He went Christian Bale there.
So one of the things
that happens because you're under so much pressure, and your entire focus is getting the character. You've done all of your Stella Adler, Meisner bullshit, whatever, to get you to that moment, and you won the Oscar in the mirror the night before, and now you just need everything to be perfect so you can deliver that performance. And if there's any kind of insecurity in you, you're going to take it out on any distraction that comes your way.
Sure. No, you can imagine the kind of pressure that you're on when you're on set filming a movie and you're like the main character, you're the shot, you're the main you're the main subject of the shot. So we know that one of the things that we talked about, Isaiah, was one of your first jobs when it comes to directing was you were in charge of scheduling. What
Yeah.
it was having that experience being in charge of scheduling, did that help you kind of mentally schedule out when you were in the director's chair? Did it
Yes.
kind of schedule out like how long certain things are going to take and like who should get our like should we move on to the next shot or wait till the next day or should we like did that help you at all with the planning process of that?
Yeah, because when I'm scheduling, and I'm the only first AD that I know who does this, when when I break down the schedule and I confer with the producer and the director and everybody is happy, and we know we're shooting these number of scenes because these scenes all take place in the diner, and we have the diner for 2 days, and so we got to get these scenes in those 2 days. Every day, I'll break down the eighth of a page of a scene, and I will allot that for how many days, how many minutes we have on set. And and it's more complicated than that. I don't want to bore you guys, but basically through that equation, that tells me how much time each scene will take in the day. And I do that equation every single day. And so that tells me exactly how much time we really have to shoot an entire scene.
Got
So
it.
wait, help me out here. What's the difference between a script supervisor and then the assistant director? Or do you work closely with them to get that timetable?
Yeah, well, I don't work with them to get the timetable. A script supervisor is in charge of continuity. What they do is they record what is being covered in a script. If you have a one-page script and it's two people talking, they'll put down this was the master shot, and then this was take two of the master. We fucked up on this line. They'll make a note, and then we continue. And then they'll do this was coverage. This was coverage. We need a shot of him picking up the coffee cup because that's where the poison is. And so they're in charge of making sure every single bit of continuity is being used. And what hand is being used for that.
Yeah.
Okay, that has nothing to
So-
do with the timetables. This whole time, I thought the script
Yeah.
supervisor was the one in charge of the timetables. That's good to know.
They're extremely important. I mean, I can give you some examples of people who pick up something with their right hand, and then the other shot, it's now their right hand, the other hand.
I've seen so many continuity errors, like in the movie Red. I've seen like
Oh yeah,
when she's holding up the candle and then it's like it's facing one way and then like the next shot it's like turned for some reason. Yeah, so I've seen shots like that. So
there's no Starbucks in Westeros.
it's all about doing it's oh my gosh. So they have to be like completely organized and detailed about every detail of the shot.
Yep. So when the director yells cut, he or she will usually talk to the keys. Was that good? Cinematographer, was that good? Actor, was that good for you? A good director will know, don't talk to the scriptie. Give her a couple of seconds. She will tell you if that shot was fucked up or not.
Okay.
Exclusively on what she said or he, you're going to do another take.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So let me just ask you this because it like I was watching a movie with a friend at one point and he was like it wasn't like a not very well known movie, but it also wasn't like a super popular movie. That he was like, is this a beef? He was like, is this a B movie? And so like when it comes to like what determines a B movie from other stuff? Because like, is it like the quality of the film? Is it the budget they had to go with it? Is it the overall star rating? Is it where the movie ended up? Is it like what determines that?
Traditionally, a B movie is usually a lower budget film. Back in the golden age of Hollywood, you had these big extravaganza films that were either gangster films or monster films, or they were these huge Fred Astaire, Singing in the Rain things. The smaller, low budget films were usually the second feature. They were on the B reel or the B kiosk of the film, and that was usually a lower grade movie. That was just kind of the thing you stick around for just because you were bored or whatnot. They were not very good quality movies. Cool. And so the B movie evolved in the 90s when Steven Soderbergh and Quentin Tarantino and other people come out and said, hey, look, lower budget movies can sometimes be better than the big budget movies. Yeah.
Took one of them to do it. All right, next question we have. Can you share a defining moment in your career?
It would have to be when we went off and directed that one that you just saw the trailer for, Project Gemini, and it was a very a humbling experience, and I'll tell you all about it. So the movie poster for the film is it was a very interesting story. When we were shooting it, we were shooting at Roger Artolo's house, and we were shooting in his bathroom. And what had happened was the female assassin had just come back from a job, and something wasn't right. Something was really bad was happening to her, and I wanted to have a shot of her in the shower with her dress still on, which of course we've seen a million times before. And we saw that in the first James Bond movie, Casino Royale. We've seen it several times where something's right, something's not right because the woman is taking a shower with her fucking clothes on. And it was a very boring shot. And I was setting this up, and we had the actress in the bathroom, and the light was still on. The light that you turn on in the morning to brush your teeth, that light was still on. It was still the house lights. And I set up the shot, and it was just going to be a slow pan into the girl in the bathtub, and the see-through shower curtain was over it, so you could see water splashing on. And I was looking at the viewfinder, and we had the house lights on, and it looked like shit. I was like, God damn it, this is so cliche. This is actually worse than everything I've ever seen before. Kubrick said we don't have to do anything new. We just have to do it a little bit better because everything's been done before. And I knew going into this that everybody has seen this moment before. And what we were doing, what I saw we were doing, was completely terrible. It was asinine. It was cliche. And I was this close to pulling the plug. I was gonna say, Roger, fuck this. It's not working. We'll just cut it from the movie. But something inside of me said, hold on, Isaiah. Get over yourself. Let's just see what your craftspeople are going to do. Let's see what their talent is going to bring. So I sat back, was very patient, and Roger says, okay, I'm done. And he turns off the light. And all of a sudden, the light that he had put glowed behind the actress. And with the shower curtain cascading with water splashing, it was the most beautiful shot I've ever seen, let alone ever directed. And I looked at this and I was like, holy shit, man. This is the movie poster.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the movie poster would be up to that point. I came up with some pretty bad ideas. But when I saw that, I was like, this is the icon of the movie. This is what Steven Spielberg calls the master shot of the film.
So can we find
wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't have, yeah. So if you go to the IMDb, go back, hit the back button.
Okay.
And then look for Gemini, Project Gemini. So scroll
30
down.
wins.
Yeah,
Good Lord. Okay, this
right
one.
there, Project Gemini.
And
I don't know
then
if you can
this.
expand that.
Oh, this is the creepy shot?
So that was actually the shot that Roger Artola had shot in his bathroom, in his shower stall. And it was so beautiful. I don't know how we're going to make it into a movie poster, but it was so utterly gorgeous. That's not animated. That's not CG. That's actually Molly O'Neill in the bathroom, in the shower with the water on. And I gave it to a friend of mine.
Yeah, you say, huh? Oh, okay.
I gave it to a friend of mine, and I was just like, I don't know how you're gonna do this. Make it into a movie poster, and she made it top and bottom, and hence the Gemini, which just added to the theme of the movie, and it was utterly, utterly brilliant.
That's amazing. Would you say there's a lot?
It wouldn't have happened if it wouldn't have happened if I opened my big fat fucking mouth and said something. So it was very humbling. So as a director, the defining moment of my career was when I learned to shut the fuck up and let your people do their job.
Fantastic. That's amazing. Would you say that there's like a lot of would you say that it's very common where you have moments when you're like, this is a mistake, but it ends up being like the most glorious like thing that you've experienced? Like, or would you say like that's like a one in like a million like chance of like where you're like, this is like I thought this is all like so fucked up, but at the same time like then one thing changed and I realized this is like the pinnacle of what the movie is.
Yeah, well, yeah, that happens all the time in filmmaking, and that usually happens in post. After you've shot something, after you're just kind of like, dragging your knuckles to the editing bay because you didn't get what you want, you just
Right.
find this magic of putting this collage of different colors together, and all of a sudden it makes perfect poetic sense for some reason. But that happens all the time
Sure.
in filmmaking.
That's awesome. Do you know of any behind the scenes for movies that are more popular movies where like some like maybe some insider
Oh
secret?
yeah. The most famous one is from Raiders of the Lost Ark, when they're in the town and they just kidnapped Marion, and she's in one of the baskets, and Indiana Jones is running through the town trying to find her in this sea of wicker baskets that all look the exact fucking same. And then all of a sudden, the crowd parts, and there's this big buff Arab guy, and he whips out this huge sword and starts swinging it around. Now, on the day, it was supposed to be this huge, elaborate fight scene where Indy fights this guy with the sword with only his whip, and it was going to be this huge, illustrious scene. Well, on the day, Harrison Ford got the runs, and the only working toilet.
Ford doesn't get the runs.
The only working toilet was back at the hotel. So he was in between takes, was just going back and forth and basically almost shitting himself on the way over there. So finally he was like, Steven, I can't be going back and forth to the hotel like this. We gotta do something. And Spielberg, in his desperation, he's like, what am I gonna do? Just have you pull out your gun and shoot him? And some of the crew people overheard that and they started laughing. And Steven Spielberg was like, actually, that's a good idea. So they shot it that way. And it wound up working way better than what they had in mind.
I was hoping that
Wow.
it was your music video. Should we tell them about magnets?
Oh, the music video.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing with that one. So we went out as a music video director, and I have this kind of deal. I said, look, if you, and this is open to any film, any musician in Hollywood. Every time I go to a show, I go and I mooch with the bands or the singer or whatever, and I offer them the same deal. I said, look, I've directed music videos that for thousands of dollars of budget, but if you don't have any money, you don't have a budget, I will shoot something for you for free, and I will work for free. But on the next one, when you have money, then you pay me. Then we go out and do something with it. So what happened here was I met a wonderful, wonderful singer at a party named Adam Ilara. And I told him the same thing. I said, look, if you have a budget, we'll put together a budget. I have a lot of experience shooting music videos for a budget. But if you have no money, I'll shoot something for you for free, and I'll edit it for free. I'll direct it for free. And the next one, you'll pay me. So that's what we went out and shot. And it wound up being so good, so much better than I originally had in mind. And I needed to create a narrative. That's the second thing that I think I have the leg up on most music videos that are made today. I need a story. I need some kind of narrative in it. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of pretty pictures. And we don't have the budget to compete with the pretty picture people. We don't have the money to compete with the Taylor Swifts out there. But what I can do is create a story.
Darn.
So this story is about a man who's lovesick, so lovesick for his ex-girlfriend, played by the beautiful Dahlia Trumbull.
Turn a bit. It's fine. It's fine.
Trumbull.
I know how to pronounce your last name, but no, that's bitch your mind, huh?
Anyways, he's so heartbroken by the fact that you broke his heart that he doesn't realize the chick who's totally into him literally a few feet away. So
yes, should we do it?
Should we do
it?
Do it.
We're showing the music video.
Yay.
Yes. Okay. And 3, 2, 1. Magnets.
Love that mauve color.
You set my senses on fire. I must be dreaming of you. It's pulling us together, attracting us closer like magnets forever. It's going past the atmosphere. I can feel your heart from here. Past the atmosphere. I feel your heart from here. New lips meet mine halfway. Caresses and breathing trade. Every moment is a lifetime with you. Hours pass and our worries too. It's going past the atmosphere. I can feel your heart from here. Past the atmosphere. I feel your heart from here.
I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a teaser, not too much. Screen shot.
Sorry, I thought the sound.
Oh my God! Yeah, screenshot right there. We got it, boy.
The ex-girlfriend, the one that got away.
God, everything has failed me. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll keep the dramatics a little lower. But
Dahlia.
what do you guys think?
That was
asking that, not me.
It was such a pain in the ass to do this music video because he kept making you laugh, and we were trying to be serious, and he just kept saying shit that just would make you laugh, and you're already easy to set off anyways.
Yeah.
You're too nice, Augustus. Taylor Swift, Smaylor Swift. I'd rather see Dahlia. Screenshot for me. Cheers. Indeed. Okay, back to you. Okay. I forgot what I was going to ask. I do remember what I was going to ask. Okay. Juicy question. Alec, give us a voice.
Give us a little what? Give us a
Give us a little bit of
pronunciate.
Give us a little bit of beatboxing.
Oh, beatboxing. You want me to beatbox?
Yeah, before we get to the next question.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Action! What do you believe sets your directing style apart from the others in the industry?
Well, like I said, for music videos, it's about having a narrative.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think a lot of music videos really kind of employ. If you look at, some of the music videos by SZA or even like Taylor Swift or most rap videos, there's really not really much of a narrative structure there. So whereas you look at old Paula Abdul, like Rush, there's a very, very definite narrative to it. And not to say that just putting a bunch of like pretty images, on a board or on screen is not effective. But basically what you're trying to do is you're selling the song. The music video is in service to the song. And nowadays, the music video is in service to clickbait to get them to your song, to either buy the song or buy tickets to the concert. It's the same thing. It's advertising. It's just a question of what is it advertising. And so the clearest way that you can do that is with a narrative structure rather than just flashy images. Because everybody can shoot sexy girls dancing. Everybody can shoot sexy dudes twerking. That's not new. You can go to a club here in LA and get that literally for free. Their clubs are free out here almost. And so you don't really need to go to a song to do that. The thing about it is that I'm trying as a filmmaker to engage the emotion of the person who's watching the music video. I don't want to show them a bunch of pretty images. I want to engage them in the old, and you go as far back as Plato with the Poetics. You're trying to create catharsis in your audience. And catharsis, real catharsis, is the best way to sell anything.
Dudes twerking. Who wants to see that? I said it's 2024.
I don't know. It's just saying.
Come on, Augustus. It is 2024. This is showbiz. Okay, let's get it on to the next question. Alec, take it away for us.
Okay. Oh, yes, here we go. Okay. So what of your films or projects
I'll ask it.
Holds.
holds, yeah, I just see it. See? Hang on.
Hold on.
Hold
Which are your films or projects holds the most personal significance to you?
Hold them.
Where's my cards?
You know what? When I was in high school, one of the film projects I did was about a little boy whose father died. And the little boy wanted to kill himself. And he very nearly did it if it wasn't for his best friend knocking on the door. And the little boy came out and played with his best friend. And he still had that suicidal tendency. And he would leap out in front of cars. And the best friend knew what was going on. And it was a silent movie, basically. We didn't have sound equipment. And the best friend kind of got in the little boy's face. And they started wrestling with each other. And eventually, the little boy started crying. And all his best friend could do was just be there for him as the little boy cried. And that was it. That was the entire movie. That was like, I was in high school. I didn't know what I was doing. But the reaction of the class and the reaction of Michael Karp, my teacher at Art Center, was so inspiring that it told me, like, I didn't think I had anything much. I didn't even have money for sound equipment. We had music playing in the background, but that was it. I didn't have money for microphones. But the impact of it was such that it encouraged me to keep going. And I kept making more films, and I went to the night school, and that got me a scholarship to the bachelor program, and that got me a scholarship to the master's program, and it just went from there. So
wow.
That was a turning point.
Wow. Oh, man. I feel like if I were in that audience watching that, I would just be in like awe and wonder of like, that is the human experience, is just being there for each other.
It is. It really is.
Like you encapsulated that. Like you caught that on film and you're like, this is what it means to feel loved.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, I got the idea from talking to a blind person. I was really big into the church back in the day, not anymore, but back in the day. And so talking with blind people, most of them get kind of annoyed when you take their hand and guide them somewhere. Like they understand, but it kind of pisses them off. But rather they just, when they want your help, if they feel that your arm is like next to them, they'll take it if they want it. All they need is to know that your arm is there.
Yep.
And that's half of what you need to do as a friend.
Yeah.
Just make sure they know you're there, and that's it. Your job is done.
Isaiah, I can say as someone who is legally blind, that is very true.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because like for me, we don't like being reminded of our disability by others.
Right.
Just like how people don't want to be reminded of what they're going through because some people are trying to force help on them. But the thing is the fact that as long as you're there to offer the help,
Yeah.
when you're ready to ask for it,
Mm-hmm.
that's a perfect description of what that's like. That's a perfect correlation.
And that's just how the human condition is. A lot of us don't really seek out the help we need, especially as a guy. You know, we don't really seek out the help that we need, but if it's there, we'll cling to it. Brandon Duranzo has a pretty interesting question. Do I prefer silent films?
Yeah, do you prefer silent films?
I really do like silent films. If you look like The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari and Nosferatu and Napoleon, those silent films were absolutely stunning. In fact, all the film techniques that we do now were created back in the silent era. Have you ever played the Madison football video games? You ever played those games?
Yeah.
Well, so the angle of your POV is behind the quarterback, and you're a few feet above as they're going right, and they throw the football, right?
Yeah.
Well, that angle is from Harold Lloyd in the silent era. He shot films from that angle that they then used in video games 100 years later.
Wow.
It's the same shot. Yeah.
That's amazing. I never knew it. That's crazy.
Whoa.
Woo-hoo. Wow.
The shot from Star Wars when they're attacking the Death Star, when you see the POV of the X-Wing kind of falling into and then into the canyon.
Yeah.
As they go towards in the Death Star kind of corridor. That shot going from above the Death Star all the way into the canyon and then settling in. They did that in the silent era. That shot came from a silent movie that took place during World War I, and that was an air fighter going down the trenches during trench warfare during World War I, and that came from the silent era.
Wow.
Sacretage. I thought this comment.
We have a lot of heritage from the silent era, and a lot of the stuff that we do, the shots, the editing theory, Eisenstein's editing theory, all comes from the silent era. And I would love to teach a class at Art Center about silent movies. I think that would be cool.
I'll help you package it for you to me, and you can do as a pay as you can kind of deal. I will help you.
Right.
I'm just kidding. Why only for the artistic astute? Huh? Was big in the church. Now he's filming dudes twerking. Shaking my head. Yeah, I know. It's 2024. I mean, bro, that one was too funny. Too funny. We got people out here in Detroit. Okay.
Oh yeah, Brandon Duranzo, Howard Hughes. Absolutely. That guy was a genius.
Brilliant. Out of Long Beach too.
We have a voice in the background.
This guy.
Wait, Isaiah, Alec, does Isaiah know?
Isaiah know what?
Why you're the co-host for Woke Wellness Wednesday?
I don't know.
Oh.
No, I don't.
All right, we can move on. Never mind.
Not that we titillated.
It's because you were bringing up how you made a film about the blind, and then I didn't want to segue. It's Alec's story. That's why I didn't.
Well, he mentioned it. Yeah, he mentioned
it. Okay.
This next guy has an interesting question. Walter Filippiak.
Walter, what's up, my guy? Do you have a favorite movie based off a famous author's book? Mine is Of Mice and Men and The Green
Mm.
Solid choices. Solid choices. I think it would be easy to say something like Dune, or even Lawrence of Arabia, which is Seven Pillars of Wisdom by T.E. Lawrence. But my favorite book, because they always say, you know how everybody says when they watch a movie, they're like, the book is better, and the book usually is better, right? But there's one movie where it is so good, it's almost better than the book. And that was Michael Cunningham's The Hours.
The Hours.
And when you watch that movie, it's with Nicole Kidman, it's with Julianne Moore, and it's Meryl Streep, and it was just Ed Harris, and it was a complete powerhouse of a movie. And the book was good, don't get me wrong. The book was very good. But the movie is the rare case where the book is
Deliverance,
is just as good. And that rarely happens.
So we actually have a couple more questions, but I kind of want to get.
Oh, but wait a minute, wait. So the best musical based on a normal movie to ever come out, Fellini's 8.5 is a masterpiece, and no one would ever dare remake it. Right? That's like remaking Citizen Kane. Like, why you don't ever fucking do that? But yeah, they did. They did remake it as a musical called 9, with Daniel Day-Lewis singing, Nicole Kidman, Marianne Cotillard, Fergie,
I love Daniel Day-Lewis,
and a bunch of other starlets were all singing.
Okay, we're gonna have
that's
to
the
compile
case.
a playlist of movies that are Isaiah's playlist for a Wednesday. Like, hey, if you guys need to know these films in your life and you call yourself a movie watcher, not until you watch these. It's fun. We need it. We need it. We need it for your class. Everybody needs it.
You need it for the film class.
Yes. Okay. I think we might be ready for this. Drum roll. Tell us a couple of your stories on set.
Well, I've dealt with some real fucking assholes before. There was this one Emmy award-winning director who just would refuse to call lunch, and he intentionally shot things non-union specifically so we can get away with shit like that. And so we got into an argument. This was like I think 6 or 7 years ago. He was acting like such a dick, such an asshole. I just basically yelled at him in front of the entire crew to the director, "You're acting like fucking Trump. Stop." And he was. He fired me, but then rehired me that night.
Oh my gosh. What?
Yeah.
Wait.
I'm done with you. Wait, we need him. All right, bring him back.
He fired you, and how many hours later did he rehire you?
Actually, I think it was, now that I think about it, it was about 5 minutes later, because we had to take lunch, and he was refusing to take lunch. And I was like, no, the crew needs lunch. We've been working for 6 hours. And he had already done this before, where he went like 45 minutes over lunch, and it was non-union, so you can't really do anything about it. And so this time I put my foot down and I said, look, we're not doing that. And we called Grace. He wound up taking like 15 minutes. And then we broke. And that was that. We never talked about it again. We never talked to each other again after that, but I still worked on the film shoot.
That's
Did you get a raise after he went through this whole hissy fit?
No. I was in Houston and I got fired. And they threw me out of the hotel that I was staying at. So I was kind of homeless for a little while. We were shooting
wow.
We were shooting a nude shot
out there
of a boy.
And those bugs there are huge.
Right. Yeah. We were shooting there was a nude scene where a teenage boy was walking down the staircase, and it was like something in the screenplay where he was naked. He was contemplating shit. And the director called for a clear set. And the producer was already a huge fucking asshole. Everybody on the crew hated him, and we can get more into that later. But I cleared the set of all non-essentials. Non-essentials basically means everybody except camera, sound, director, and the actors. And that included the producer. So I threw the producer out too, and he fired me for it. So after the next day, the hotel manager calls me and says, we have to throw you out because they're not paying for your stay anymore."
So because you did your job,
Yeah.
you followed the rules,
Yeah.
because he didn't like it, he kicked you out of everything.
He fired me. Yeah.
That makes no sense. What?
It's Hollywood, baby.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
Oh, the best thing about this, so I got a story for you. So we're shooting in off PCH, and it's one of those condominium places that are kind of up on the hill a little bit, and then down below is like a trailer park, almost a very nice trailer park, but it's right off PCH. And so the cool thing about this guy's house, he was also one of the actors, is that it bumped up through a canyon. And the scene that we had were about 3 or 4 guys who were coming back home from hunting rabbits. And so they had the shotguns over their shoulder, and they had some dead rabbits, and they were fake, of course, they were props. And so we go over there, and we're shooting above PCH, and we can see PCH down below, and then the trailer park over here somewhere. And so we're setting up the shot, and I think we do one take of the guys just kind of walking through the canyon. And then in between takes, the guys are just standing there with the guns over their shoulder. And I just, in my head, I thought, you know what? Let's go tell them something. And I just go over them and I said, "Hey guys, in between takes, can you put the guns down? Just lean them against a tree or something, and just put them down in between takes." And they're like, "Yeah, sure, okay, that's probably a good idea." So they leaned their shotguns up against the tree. No sooner had that happened, SWAT team had a helicopter over us, and they were coming in through the door up front. Apparently, an old lady down at the trailer park saw and called 911 and said there were men in the hills with guns.
So they called the police on guys who were in the film.
And yeah, they didn't know we were filming. There were guys with guns in the hills. LAPD showed up. Their helicopter was hovering over us, and they shut us down for the whole day.
Wait, did that like put you like severely behind schedule?
Oh, the movie never finished. We never completed the movie.
Was it because of that moment?
No, it's because the producer / director / star of the show was such a fucktard. She didn't bother to do any of the paperwork, and crew didn't get paid the following week, so we had to shut down production. But this was the beginning.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It all started with a neighbor, but really it was the director who's a piece of shit. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Damn, Augustus. Damn.
So that's kind of the issue with Hollywood. It's such a glamorous and alluring place that it attracts all these egotistical morons who are lucky that they survived their shower in the morning. Right. And they come over here with just delusions of grandeur, and they kind of clog up the system for the rest of us.
Yeah. They're like sewer water in your sink.
Oh my god.
All right, let me go on my tangent. It's not about me.
So that was
So wait, when the SWAT team was like coming in and like they were raiding everything and they were like checking, were there like people who were like having heart attacks, panic attacks, like where they were like this can't be real, or this is like
yeah the front production people, because production was inside, so they were like, what the fuck is going on? Luckily nobody had firearms in their hands, because the LAPD would just shot them. Like, no questions asked, they would have just shot them. Because they didn't know it was a film shoot. They had no idea.
They would have just got shot?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
So.
Well, we have some questions that kind of give us a precursor into the future. Should we drop a few?
Yeah. Yes, we shall. Yes, we should.
Okie dokie. All right, Alec, take it.
Wait, hang on. I can do it. I promise. Wait, hang on. Let me just put on my handy dandy glasses.
Okay.
See, if you can make a movie or a show based on your viewpoints and when it comes to dating.
Oh,
I think you pressed the wrong button there. You pressed the wrong button, pal. Okay. Sorry.
no.
There is no way that just happened.
Yo, you can never say shit to me ever. Oh, I forget we're on stream. Hi, everybody. We're still here.
So, if you could make a movie based on your viewpoint on dating.
No, he said dating a boom.
Boom. Out of here. You're like, peace. Bye.
No vagina. Woo. All right. Yo, your ex is watching, huh? I need another beer. No, that was too funny.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
It's like when you ask if it's like when I ask if you want to talk business and then say no and hang up.
Yeah, but that's us thing, not in front of public thing.
So like
That's how you know you should talk about it. If it's an us thing, that's when you should talk about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Bring it up. Let's talk about it. Do it.
People don't know how much I'm abused wearing this hoodie. Anyways, you guys can cop one. All right, sorry.
Let's
Tangent. If you could make a movie or TV show
based upon your viewpoints on dating, what would the title of that movie be?
Well, I'm developing a movie right now. I'm writing a screenplay, and we can talk about the process of screenwriting and after this, because that's really important. But right now, I'm developing a screenplay about dating, about the perspectives of dating, and how the kind of the mental health of both are being affected. And I'm going to call it Swipe.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Yeah. And then, okay, next question.
Wait, before we go there, should we talk about how a screenplay is developed? Like, are you guys?
Sure.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that. Okay, so let's backtrack. What is your process for when developing your script?
Have you guys ever seen U2?
Yes.
Yeah.
We're on it.
They have this dome structure that's like 4 whatever, and it's almost like this thing covers the stage and it rotates.
Yeah.
And what they do is they ship that in 3 parts. So while they're performing live with one stage, part of another stage is being shipped to the next venue. And then once they deconstruct this, the second stage is already being constructed. And then the first stage is being shipped to the third place. And so it kind of leapfrogs that way as they do their concert venue. Well, I got the same idea. I got that idea and I kind of applied to screenwriting. What I'll do is I'll start with the research phase, reading books about whatever the subject matter is, right? And I'll take notes. And sometimes I'll just journal out ideas. Then when that's good and ready, I'll do what I call is a scene précis, which is every scene on a little index card. The first scene is Princess Leia's ship being taken over. The second scene is Darth Vader torturing some asshole in the hallway. The third scene is C-3PO being launched in an escape pod. So once I have a whole wall of that, I'll formulate that. And then when I'm done, I have my Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. I'll take the first note card and I'll start writing the screenplay. While I'm writing the screenplay, I'm doing research on the next project. And then once I finish the first draft of the first screenplay, on the second screenplay, I'm starting the scene précis. Yeah. And then while I'm finished with the scene précis at the same time, I'm getting started on the second draft of the first project and beginning research on the third screenplay. So it's one thing after the other, and you're constantly working.
Gotcha. See, that's really cool. It's like kind of like visually like putting on a board your visuals for it, and then figuring out what like from there like what's going to be said in those scenes.
Yeah, at a glance, if it makes sense at a glance, then you're ready to do that. And then when that happens, when you hit all your structure beats, you know, you hit all your architectural designs, as it were. When you get that first scene and you start writing it out, all the hard part's done. Your climax is done, your denouement is done, the midpoint, the second act curtain, the 10-page rush, all that is done. And what you're doing now is you're taking one scene at a time and you're fleshing life into it. You're breathing life into it. It's like now you're writing poetry.
Love that. Beautiful. Beautiful. So is that something that you learned in like in the schools that you went to during the education that you were getting, or is that something that you picked up from somebody else?
You know, what's really interesting is that when I was in film school, the film school I went to was the Art Center College of Design. And this was this film school where guys like Zack Snyder went, Michael Bay went. And what was really interesting was that when I went to film school, I would ask, you know, like the cinematography guys and the photography guys, hey, do you remember Zack Snyder? Do you remember Michael Bay? And they'd be like, yeah, I remember him. He was this, that, and the other. And then I would ask the screenwriting guys, the screenwriting teachers, and they didn't remember them at all.
Oh, wow.
That kind of clued me in, like, oh shit, I got to start really paying attention to screenwriting. And there were some really great screenwriting teachers there. Ron Osborne was a really great screenwriting teacher. Brad Saunders was really amazing. Michael Gottlieb, Jim Engelhardt. They were all really good guys, but I knew coming from Art Center and just the reputation Art Center had, I knew anybody coming up there would be able to create a stunningly beautiful visual.
Sure.
But for me and myself, I knew I had to continue my education in screenwriting. So I started reading every book I could on screenwriting. And that's when I came up with the scene précis. But I came up with the process myself of having 3 projects going at once all the time.
That is like the true ADHD hack. I think I need index cards, color coded, and
Yes.
highlighters.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Act 1 is red.
I have it.
Act 2 is green, and Act 3 is blue for me.
You see, when I'm like highlighting a book and I'm like looking at symbolism to analyze the way things are written, I'll use certain colors to analyze to like signify like certain significance or certain like or like what I'm highlighting. It means that this is happening in this section. Yep.
Very important.
Well,
it just keeps things exciting and visual acuity. It keeps your mind kind of working and your eyes alive.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, like when I'm doing creative projects, my mind's going like 50 different places at once. So like if I can like just see a color, then I don't have to reread it. I just know what it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and one of the really important things that I found, and this is twofold. Blake Snyder wrote a book called Save the Cat. And book 1, he wrote, I think, 3. Book 1 and book 2 book 3 are really important. Book 2, you don't have to read. A screenwriter, you don't really have to read it. It's just kind of examples of what he's talking about. But book 1 and book 3 are super important. And one of the things he said, and I found this to be extremely true, is create the pitch as you're writing the screenplay. Because that pitch kind of becomes the North Star for you and guides you where your story is going to go. And especially if you're doing just the scene précis of just the note cards, you go back to that pitch and you remind yourself, this is what I want my story to be.
For sure.
Twofold, what I found really important for me writing the screenplay is to create the script trailer. The script trailer, Rian Johnson did this with Looper. He called it script-o-matic. I'm just going to call it the script trailer for layman's terms. What you do is you take clips and images from other movies and you put them on your own timeline with your own music, your own dialogue, your own narration, and you convey the plot and the tone of the screenplay you're writing. And that, for me, also is this North Star that I keep coming back to make sure I'm on the right railroad track for my screenplay.
That's fantastic.
Plus, it allows prospective producers and investors to know exactly what this movie's about without actually having to read the damn thing, or before they have to read the damn thing.
That's amazing. That's amazing. When I would do some work for Dahlia when it comes to commercial work in the
Nice.
past. And what I would do is before I even write out what the script would be, or I figure out what the details of it would be, is I would have to find background music to talk over, and then I would improvise to see if the feel of it's right, and then I could start writing, and then I have to try it out. And it's it was I have to do things that are even unrelated to writing to figure out what I'm writing.
Yeah, it's almost like you have to kind of expand your brain a little bit.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah.
It's pretty dope.
So that's awesome. So that's kind of cool how it's it's kind of a universal thing where it's you can use it in many different areas of creativity.
Yeah, that's why Da Vinci had so many different disciplines.
That's true.
It all helped out. One helped the other.
Amazing.
Absolutely. But yeah, Story by Robert McKee is another great book on screenwriting that is just absolutely paramount for any screenwriter.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Harold Clurman wrote a couple of really amazing books.
Are you guys taking notes?
Yeah, definitely take notes. In addition to Sid Field, but Harold Clurman was really introduced to me in film school, and in film school I studied under the late great Francine Parker, who was the directing teacher, the big directing guru. And this girl was a little old Jewish lady who just kind of hobbled around campus, and literally she could make full-grown men cry. And I've seen her do it.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just no bullshit about directing. You show up, you know exactly what you're doing. You have the knowledge of God on set. You know more about the text. And she came from theater. So her philosophy was, you know more about the story than the fucking writer does. That's how good the director has to be. And so I carry that into on set. I need to know more about everything than even the writer.
I need to know everything from the top to the bottom of the index card. Okay, we are a little over time. Do we want to do one question? But it's leading into the future. And then I went to the future ahead of time. And then you made me dig deep.
You just came back.
I know.
That's okay. Hey, you know what? It's what we do here.
Yeah. It's actually interesting. We're getting a very interesting Twitch comment, which is kind of throwing me off. I don't know, but it's kind of funny. I guess since we're here, what is it? Oh. The girl has a forest magic-like ambience. The man is in the emptiness of void, and the other one's chilling in a normal room.
Yeah.
I don't know who this is. Okay, anyways, totally back to us. Zone in.
Yeah.
We are here.
Oh,
okay.
shit. You're talking about me.
Yes. Okay. Actually, since we are kind of leading into your future episode, I definitely want you guys to like and subscribe now and be prepared for Isaiah Galarza for next Wednesday. We're still working out the details, in which case we're going to leave a little precursor, which, oh yeah, you did tell us this. Oh, who would you like to most to date in Hollywood?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Cliffhanger.
Can I answer that next week?
Ooh, he wants to. Ooh, Dahlia, did you hear that? He wants to answer that next week.
No, it's okay.
No, I want to know no.
I think, God damn, who? You know what would be interesting? Because I like girls who are funny.
Okay.
What?
And I think if I had the chance, and she was into Hispanic dudes apparently, I would love to date Lucille Ball in her prime.
Lucille Ball.
She just seems like such a funny, zany kind of gal. And
like a corky.
a little bit. Yeah. A little Doesn't take
Okay.
themselves seriously.
I have so many follow-up questions, but I'm gonna save that for next episode.
You guys,
Go
if
for
you
it.
ready,
Go
check
for
out
it.
all of Isaiah
Okay.
Galarza's films.
I'm gonna ask just one. I'm just gonna ask one.
Go.
Do you find do you find it competition when the girl seems to be funnier than you, or do you actually like that trait about them?
I don't see it. I just sit back and just watch them. I just sit back and just enjoy the show.
Okay. Because some guys are competitive in that way.
Apparently, what you said is a cop-out answer. I'm hearing a cop-out answer. I'd take Lucille Ball if she was alive and not in a court.
Come on, man, that's a cop-out answer. Nah, man, if that's who he's into, that's who he's into. You know how it is.
Or if somebody alive.
Who's the 2024 version of Lucille Ball?
Kristen Wiig.
Okay.
Kristen Wiig. I would definitely date Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiig?
Yeah.
Do that bull. I can do the voice of Sean Connery. I know that's not what we need to hear, but
Do it.
let me undo that bull and get to know ya. That's right. What? Come on. That's a cop-out answer.
I say you talk all of next week like that.
Okay.
Even off camera. Off camera too, Dahlia.
Off camera.
Dude, you want me to have a Sean Con life?
When you're yes. Sean Con OnlyFans. Yes.
Oh no! Help! Oh my God, you guys, this has been a Woke Wellness Wednesday. If you love it, I need to know. I need to know. By the way, today is my brother's 2-year anniversary. Rest in peace. How we powered through this episode, I have no idea. Obviously, through the power of love and friends. So you guys know me. Today's tough. Today's tough, but you guys make me happy. Whee! And I appreciate you. Does anybody have any follow-up questions? Now's your time.
No, I'm saving my questions for next week. I'm saving the juicy ones for next week.
Oh, okay. Fine.
What's the Sean Connery OnlyFans site address?
Yeah, the link's in the description, by the way.
Okay.
The link is in the description. Tell them, Alec. What is next? I gotta hold it together. What is next?
Make an offer she can't refuse.
Yeah. That's what's gonna happen with AI, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna.
Oh yes. Can we wait? No. That's next week because that's a whole.
Okay, fine. We gotta save some for later.
Well, no, that's all entertainment industry. I thought next week was gonna be about.
This week was all about you and your accolades. Next week you were a spicy, crazy mexicano. Like, you know what I mean? This was like, oh, look at my fluffy feathers. You know? Yeah.
Am I supposed to be peacocking for you? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Next week. Yeah, next week. Yeah.
Okay. So what's gonna happen next week?
We're both gonna show up on camera shirtless.
What?
Okay. But you're the only one who gets to wear pasties.
Oh, Alec is the only one.
Yeah.
What is Isaiah's Mount Rushmore of movies? What does this mean? Mount Rushmore.
The Mount Rushmore of movies. Ooh.
So there was a woman who lived in the 13th century in France.
Mm-hmm.
And her name was Madame Clisson. And her husband got called to fight for the king against England. And while at war, he was betrayed by his best friend and was beheaded.
Sure.
Under the command of the king, he was beheaded. So what Madame Clisson did was she sold all of her husband's castles and lands.
Hell yeah! Get him out! Get him out! Sorry, go ahead.
And she bought 3 warships. And she painted them black and dyed the sails red. And she proceeded to engage in a campaign of piracy against French ships. And every French ship she would destroy, of the prisoners, if there was any nobility in them, she would personally behead them. and she became known as the Lioness of Brittany.
Brandon, are you taking notes? This is good for your movie. All right. Yeah.
I would love to make a movie about her.
He's talking about.
Are you still streaming?
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's insane.
That's crazy. History is just full of stories. Like I love that.
Full of stories.
Love that stuff.
If you guys love this episode, show us some love. Oh, last comment. I've ruined a lot of relationships.
Oh, that Miranda Bailey has a good question.
Oh, Miranda. Okay.
You?
What is a movie you have directed that's your favorite?
The one with Dahlia in it.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the greatest answer ever. Okay. I ruined a lot.
Wait. Really interesting. So here's the thing. When we were directing the music video, and you saw this in the music video, Adam, was just a small, dainty kind of guy that most of the time, when two lovers are sitting together, one's in front of the other, is usually the woman who's in front of the guy, and the guy's behind her, and he's being all lovely.
I noticed.
But because he was such a dainty guy compared to Dahlia, I had Dahlia be the big spoon, and he was the small spoon.
I noticed.
And it worked beautifully. You didn't even notice in the music video, did you? You
I
just saw.
didn't notice. You think I didn't notice?
No idea.
There you go.
Okay.
Dahlia,
It
why
just
are you
works
a
so
husband?
seamlessly.
On that tree lump, you know?
Yeah.
Aw, you think so? Stop it, guys. Stop it.
There you go. See? Every guy is fantasizing about you being big spoon.
That does this. I'm not a big spoon.
Yeah,
You know?
Dahlia, when I get to LA, you're big spoon.
Yeah,
This
baby.
was Wolf on this Wednesday. Thank you so very much for tuning in. We absolutely appreciate and love you.
That'll be the name of your OnlyFans, the Big Spoon.
Okay. Have a good night.
Work you later.